Welcome to the podcast, everyone. We have the beautiful Nas here with us. We have been advertising the shit out of her on our Instagram, so I hope you're excited.
And we're recording all together, which is new and no Machine Gun Kelly shirt.
I mean, I wore this last week, but also look at this beautiful spread I made.
It does look pretty good.
Taylor has some pop culture for us. I feel like a news reporter. New in pop culture.
Okay, I just need to know, nobody's talking about it, and I have a lot of questions. Nick Cannon and his million children. Like, have you guys heard about this?
I just saw this today, and I saw that he's in polyamory. Yeah, where you like open relationship,
which is fine, but he literally has 11 children, and like 3 girls are pregnant at the same time right now with his child.
Wait, for like 12, 13, 14?
I think so.
Oh, I did
That's
not know this
insane.
about him.
Also, it's just kind of gross to me. Like, I feel like his mission in life is to
Have millions of
just
kids.
have all these random ladies and children, maybe.
But like, does Wild 'N Out pay that much money? Is it even on TV still?
How does he
like
make money?
It Wild 'N Out, but
Is
I
that
don't think
still
it's
on?
I don't know. I have no idea. But oh wait, he hosts that show. Never mind.
What show?
That talent show.
No, they got rid of him a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh, then I don't know what he does. Not enough to have all these children.
I don't know what he does either. I think it's wild. I didn't know he was into polyamory.
I think you got it right.
That one. But I think it's disgusting. And also, I have something else to confess.
What?
I hate Britney Spears' new song.
I haven't heard it. I didn't know she had a new song.
Really?
It's with
Elton John.
Yes.
Really?
And she barely sings.
Huh. I actually really dig it. It's like
You
a
can't say that
techno.
when she's wearing a Britney Spears t-shirt in support.
I know, but
She did call out Christina Aguilera this week.
she called her fat.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like,
And
oh.
everyone unfollowed her. So
Yeah.
I don't know what Britney's up to, but I don't like your song. You barely sang.
Apparently, I need to pay attention to pop culture more, you guys. I have
don't
no
think
idea
you have
anything
time.
that's going
You seem
on.
like a very busy lady.
pop culture is a lot to like keep up on, but just watching Instagram and seeing like there's just Not Skinny Not Fat, who we always talk about, we all follow her, and she keeps talking about Nick Cannon, and I'm like, what is the deal with this dude? And so I looked it up and I was like, this is so strange to me. Like 3 different ladies pregnant with his child. Like that is weird.
Huh?
That's just strange to me, but I mean,
It's
to each their
honestly
own.
so gross. And like, do they live by each other?
I don't know. Like, do him and Mariah Carey even talk anymore? Like,
They didn't have kids together, did they?
yeah, they did. They had
Oh.
twins.
Oh yeah. He has twins. He had twins again.
Yeah.
He's like really got that in him.
It's so weird to me.
You guys,
Like,
this guy's got game.
I know.
We
Apparently.
give him a gold star for
I
that.
know.
It
It's so
feels-
weird.
It feels sleazy. I don't know. It's sleazy.
That's all I've got in pop culture. So
Is there anything else in pop culture? No, I just really needed to say that Britney's song isn't great. That's all I have.
I mean, that's really sad. I feel like it's like the song of the summer for me.
Well, I just feel like it didn't have much context, and yeah, I listened to it multiple times. Like, is she even actually singing? Did she say anything besides something tiny dancer? I don't even know. I think that's all she said.
Hold me closer.
That's all she said over and over again. Stupid. Okay, we have a lot of questions for Nas, but before we start, I really need Taylor to read the champagne bottle for all of you guys.
All right. It's Italian. We know my problem with Italian champagne. Torresella.
That was good.
I feel like you did
I would
well.
I would probably say that.
That's what I would have guessed.
Yeah.
My uncle speaks Italian. I should have asked him how to say it.
And you didn't put like a Italian twang on it, whatever you
On the
call
end.
that.
Daddy, I own.
It's fine. Okay, are we ready for our questions for Miss Nas?
Yes.
What do you got for me, you guys?
Okay, I'm gonna start with our questions.
Okay.
Tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Nas, the injection queen?
Ooh. Okay. So I am a PA. I worked in colorectal surgery for like 8 years.
What does
at
that mean?
LDS hospital. So I kind of took care of patients in and out of the hospital. I helped as in so I operated with my surgeon. So I was called a first assist. So you assist the surgeon. In a lot of colon cancer cases, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, and then other problems like hemorrhoids, anal fissures, all of that. So butts and guts.
Is
I
that
got
why you
really
put
good at
Botox
that.
in butts?
That is a thing.
Is that why you put the Botox in the butt?
Partially, yes. It is a medical
Really?
treatment for what's called an anal fissure.
Does insurance cover that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What's an anal fissure?
It's a tear.
So I could get that.
If you had an anal tear
I had an
and
anal
you
tear and I didn't
failed,
need it.
if you failed the cream, then Botox could be a good next step for you.
I will not make you do that to me. I'll have you know
Why
that.
is that? It just tightens everything up.
It actually relaxes everything. So you get anal tears partially from your anal sphincter being snug, and then like constipation can cause it.
Or a giant child coming out of you.
Or yeah, it happens a lot after pregnancy, just generally because women tend to get a little bit constipated after that as well.
That didn't
combo.
happen to me, luckily.
But it has a hard time healing because you have to keep pooping, so it'll just kind of
Interesting.
keep
Keep
spreading the tear open. So if you put Botox in it, it relaxes the sphincter so that it can't do that as much and allows blood supply to get in.
Wait, so I needed it after I had the tear. I couldn't do it now.
Well, if you don't have it now, no.
Well, I just don't have the same butt muscle now.
Oh well, Botox won't help that.
Darn it.
I wish it
finally
was a
found my
thing.
cure. So I don't mean to go on a tangent about this. I've just had questions about this before because I work in medical, I work in orthopedic surgery, but like you hear people talk about stuff like that. Do anal fissures ever heal? Because
Yes.
I feel like poop's always getting in there. Like, do they get infected?
They don't actually. So anal fissures will heal from the inside out. So despite poop passing through there, they don't get infected.
Really?
They are very painful, as you've probably heard or experienced. A
Uh-huh.
lot of people after ortho surgery get
Yeah.
it from the narcotic
Yeah.
use. It basically feels like you're pooping shards of glass. So it's
That
very
is
uncomfortable.
Fucking insane.
But yes, 50% of them heal on their own, and the other 50 do not, and then require some kind of medical treatment with usually a cream.
Interesting.
And if you fail that, then you go up to like the Botox or surgical.
Is that how
fixes.
you started giving Botox? Is it through butts?
I mean, maybe, yes.
Interesting.
So that, you guys, that's why my tagline is
Interesting.
cheek to cheek coverage, because I now cover face, cheeks.
I
and
had
butt.
no
cheeks.
idea you
You
could
should
get
get a
Botox in your
t-shirt.
butt.
I know, I'm thinking about it. I should, huh? Like a Botox dealer one, and then like cheek
I
to
have
cheek
a girl.
coverage.
She makes our shirts. She's great.
Face,
Don't
cheek,
stop
butt, cheek.
this.
Oh, yes. I'm ready to talk.
Okay. How did you decide on your IG handle?
Okay, so I had a hard time, and the girls at Arlani are actually the ones, we had a contest and they all voted, and Taylor, our sweet, beautiful Taylor, is the one who came up with Injection Queen Nazanin.
I like it.
I know, and then it stuck, and so now I'm the queen.
You
I
are.
like
You are.
it.
Like
Yeah.
they've stopped referring to me as Nas. Now they're just like, excuse me, queen. And I kind of love it because I love the girls.
Honestly, Shelby and I were like, how do we get this to happen to us?
Interesting.
So I'll take it. But
I like
I
that.
can't take any credit for it. Those girls, it was all Taylor.
How did you get your job at Arlani? You just like applied?
No, so actually, when I worked in the hospital, you know, I love hospital work, and I do miss it some days, and I always did injections on the side at a different spa. And then after a while, I was just ready for a change, and Rochelle and I, the owner of Arlani, have actually known each other for years. We met volunteering at a free clinic, like in, I don't know, 2010. So we've known each other a long time. And then she was like, "No, I'm going to open a spa. You should come inject for me." And I was like, "That sounds great. I'm all for it." And then with COVID and everything, I made the transition out of the hospital, and now I'm there full time.
I like that. Awesome.
So it's fun. I love it.
Awesome.
So wait, don't you have two jobs though?
I do. So
Okay, I was
now,
like, that's my next question.
yes. So you can't take the surgery out of the surgery, PA is kind of the saying, and I love surgery. It's what I'm really good at. I don't mean that in a cocky, weird way. I feel good about
Okay,
it.
queen.
It makes me giddy. Let me put it to you that
Queen.
way. I get excited to operate. So I still do that on the side, but now I do plastics with a plastic surgeon. So a lot of boobs, a lot of tummy tucks.
I want to get my boobs done so bad.
Actually, I have something to say about breast implants. Sorry, again,
No,
going
go, I
off
want
of,
to hear it. I'm ready.
going off script here. I just read an article 2 days ago that said a lot of females are getting breast cancer or different types of cancer from the scar tissue that forms around breast implants.
Interesting.
Is that like, would that be a thing?
So I don't know specifically to that. I would love to see that study and just kind of read about it. I do know that any kind of chronic state of inflammation can eventually lead to cancer. So maybe that's the theory behind it, is that there's chronic inflammation there. Because in colon surgery, at least, that was very common with ulcerative colitis and Crohn's. They were chronic states of inflammation that would or
I'll
could
have
eventually
to-
turn into
I'll
cancer.
have to find that article and send it to you, because I was reading it and I was like, what the heck? And it's very like new and up and coming, but it's just like tumors start forming in the scar tissue around the implant, and they like doctors have never seen it before.
I'd
Mhm.
be intrigued to read that. For
Yeah.
sure.
That actually brings me to a question that's not on our list, but Kristen Cavallari, who I'm obsessed with, she will not get Botox because she says we don't know what it will do to you down the road still. Is that facts? That we just like don't know what will happen in like 30 years?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
so there's a lot of studies.
She's like, shit.
No, I don't think that that's necessarily the case with Botox, just because there are so many studies about it, and because it's temporary.
Yeah.
So the worst things I've heard about Botox being an issue down the line are if you do too much, and this kind of makes sense, right? But if you do too much in certain muscle states, then like you weaken that muscle so much that when you're like 65, you don't have as much strength there. So like, you guys know this from being injected by me, but I'm a really conservative forehead treater. So I like to keep your foreheads light. And the theory behind that is if I like knock out your forehead muscle too much, then by the time you're 65, I'm afraid your muscle will be too weak to like lift your eyebrows. And so I don't really want to do that to anybody.
I will say I appreciate so much that I can move my eyebrows. Like
It's nice.
the first time I got it, I couldn't lift my eyebrows. You didn't do it. And I'm like someone.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yes, it was not her. And I'm someone that like when I'm walking like at work, I don't really want to say hi to people sometimes because that's just the asshole I am. And I'll just like give like a head nod or like an eyebrow raise. And then I was doing it and my eyebrows weren't moving. So I was just like my eyes would like widen and people would just kind of give me this look. And then I was like, oh my God, I got Botox and my eyebrows do not move anymore. And people are probably like, why are you aggressively like pulsing me with your eyes?
Opening your eyes at me.
So I appreciate that.
I think that's the goal, right? My goal when I treat people, at least for me, is like to make it look like you just kind of woke up like that. I don't want you to look like you have Botox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I appreciate, because Tony was so nervous about me doing like any of this stuff. And then when like I came home, like after my lips and my Botox, he's like, oh, you can't even tell. I was like, yeah, like I don't want to look fake. Like
It can't be natural.
I think that people got so extreme for so long that men in general, like they are kind of like, what?
Well, I think it's especially like guys and people just our age, because we did grow up in like that generation of like the Playboy bunny look, like plastic surgery was such like a big thing and it was so obvious that I think people were just kind of like, when you mention plastic surgery or Botox, they think of that.
I want you guys to know when I get my boobs done, they will look fake and I want them to.
She's like, that is the goal there.
I don't want people being like, are those natural? I want them to be like, fuck yeah, those are fake. That's my goal. We already answered
At least
that.
she knows what she wants.
Exactly. Do you get services for free by working at the med spa?
So we do some staff injections, you know, because it's important for you. It's like kind of marketing in a way, right? When you guys
have to
see,
look.
well, and when you guys see me, if you saw me with really overfilled lips or something,
We'd
you
be like,
probably
"No."
wouldn't want to get your lips done by me, right? So, I mean, we do get our Botox, and we do that quarterly, just so that we all look wrinkle free. but natural.
I need a job. Do you guys need an operations lady?
So
sign
we
me
are very thankfully Rochelle does take care of us in that way. So
Do
it's
you
really
do
great.
your own Botox?
I have in the past.
Really?
It is a
Does
challenge.
that scare you?
No, it's kind of more like I'm about to put this needle in my forehead and I just need to do it.
Nope, not for me.
But then I have to really pay attention like in the mirror to make sure I'm not like pushing too many units. So now
That seems like way too challenging.
Yeah.
it's a little it can be a little stressful. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, if I gave myself like a drop brow or something, that would be the ultimate,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't think I could inject
disgrace.
myself if I knew how to do it.
But
Actually,
luckily
I know I couldn't inject myself.
now I have I usually have Rochelle do it now for me. I'm like, hey, I'm due. Can you
So
please
like,
just
do
take
you
care
guys
of
get a discount? Like if you were gonna do the Morpheus, do you get a discount on it or do you pay the price that we all pay?
we'd be discounted.
Nice.
That's
If-
good.
if we're
If you had
being
to pay
honest.
full price, I'd be like, fucking out.
There are perks to every job, right?
Yeah,
And
there
so-
is.
and
That's good. That's
yeah.
a good perk. All right, start with some of your questions.
Okay. Is there a culture in med spas? Is it super vain?
You know, I think it's changed a lot. It may have been in the past. Now I feel like everyone really wants to look natural and nobody wants to look like a real housewife. I hear that like at least 5 times a week.
What do you
And-
think of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake?
Nobody
one of
watches this show but you and my sister.
I don't watch it. I just follow.
I don't watch it either.
But like, what's her name? Beauty Lab, Beauty whatever. One of them on there has like,
Oh, that owns
Yeah.
she owns a spa.
and she's done too much.
Is
She's
she
got too much
over?
work. Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
So like, do you guys follow other like spas around and like see what they're doing? Like, is there comparison? Is there like, I think that actually might be a question.
We
Sorry.
do,
yeah.
like I feel like everyone kind of does. Everyone's wondering like what other spas
Are they rude
offer.
about it?
No, generally not. It
That's
seems to
good.
be like a pretty supportive scene, if you will. Like we'll be like, oh, like someone else has gotten Morpheus now, and what are they doing with it? It's more like a curiosity thing. Like
Mhm.
So,
everyone
like,
kind of
if-
wants to know.
If you see each other at like a conference, are you guys like, or are you like, oh my gosh, hi?
It's more like an oh my gosh, hi, how are you? How's everything going? They end up actually talking more about life, I feel like, than actual spa. And then they'll come around to it because usually the conference
That's
will
good.
pull you back to that. But I think there's a stigma around it and it's not always that way.
That makes me happy to hear. I feel like I would assume that it's like catty.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like it probably, if you didn't know, or if you were just like, didn't talk to anyone or anything, it might feel that way sometimes. But then like when you start talking to people or other injectors, you're like, oh, it's actually like a supportive environment.
I like that. That makes me happy. Yeah. Yeah. How do injectors get paid for the services you are giving?
So it depends on the spa, and how they want to pay you. So most of the time, injectors are commission based, so like a percentage of their sales. And then other places will sometimes do like more of an hourly thing and then maybe do bonuses on top of that. It's totally dependent.
So is it like a thing for that someone to just have a salary? Or is it more just straight up commission?
I think it would be hard to do salary based in this field unless you were like a super full clinic running all the time. So because salary, right, is
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
And so like if you have no clients walking in the door, so I don't feel like that happens too often. But I mean, I was talking to an injector the other day and they were paid hourly. And so they were basically salary. You know, and that's not very common. It's more that people are the other way. Like it's
Do you
commission
guys like
based.
have time at like the med spa where it's just like nothing's happening? Like it's just like no appointments and you're kind of like,
It's rare, thankfully. You know, it's good to have business coming in for the door. But even like sometimes if we have a spare hour here or there, I feel like
Yeah.
we're like on social media
Well, I
or
feel like
making
it
a
could
funny
be-
reel.
it could
Yeah.
be quick. Like their appointments are pretty quick. Like our parties are not fucking quick. I always feel so bad. I'm like,
Same.
we have been here for so long.
It's actually
and-
not
But
that
it's
bad.
just like fun though. Like that's
It
I
is.
mean,
Yeah.
it's fun for us, but I'm always like, damn, People come like on their lunch break and just like zip
Yeah.
out.
I mean, it depends on what it is for some. I wish more people did Botox parties, honestly, because it is a
They
good
are so
time.
fun.
Yeah, they're really fun.
But you're right, it's a lot of, it can be quick, so if you're like dropping in on your lunch hour, it's totally doable.
If you need me to plan the parties for people, let me know.
You're hired.
I will just like, you guys find the people, get them, convince them to do the party, and I'll plan.
You'll take
for
care
it.
of it.
I'll make sure we have cheese,
You have the
the
charcuterie board.
champagne. I'll make sure they have a good time.
So insurance doesn't cover any med spa stuff, right? So like you don't get paid through insurances.
No,
Okay.
so it generally not, because it's considered a cosmetic procedure.
Okay.
So I have had some people, because they'll get their insurance, for example, you guys know we do Botox for TMJ grinding. So we'll have some people who will like use their HSAs to pay for the Botox that they'll put like
For
in their
that
masseters.
specific
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
And then like they'll pay separate for their face Botox
Okay.
as trying to keep it, you know,
What about for plastic surgery? Is that an insurance thing?
usually not,
No.
unless you got, like, for example, like if you were getting a breast reduction and your primary care physician found out that you were having back issues or some other problem that's secondary to that issue,
Mhm.
then they can like write a letter to get your insurance to try to approve it.
So you're lucky that you don't ever have to play that insurance game.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Insurance, like I remember that in the hospital, and it tends to be a little bit of a headache at times.
Yeah, it is.
So it is kind of nice not to have to deal with that.
Is it easy or hard to make good money doing this, or do you need to have a second job?
So everything's based on your clientele. So if you can have a client, if you have a clientele, you'll do great. If you have good marketing, advertising, all of that, good services to offer, then you'll do well. But without a clientele, and especially if you're commission based, then you can't make any money, right?
Yeah.
And so in that case, you would need a second job. A lot of people, I feel like, especially these days, and with COVID, everybody wanted to go into aesthetics. They were like, it's so lucrative. This is totally what we're going to go do. It's so much easier than hospital life. But it's not. And it's hard in its own way. And then you just have to build a clientele. So if you can build clientele, have trusty clients that, you know, want to just come see you, that's what makes the difference.
That's what I've noticed lately, like ever since like this, like 2022 specifically, I've noticed so many like med spas pop up like in my area, because there haven't been any, and I'm like, what the heck? And then I'll like drive by and they have like a sign up, like they don't have hours during like regular hours, they're not open all the time, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like you should have gotten a building yet, like what? But it seems like there's so many people that just like jumped into it real quick.
And Utah especially, like I think it's like a med spa per 8,000 people. Like we're high up there. We have med spas everywhere.
Well, even just in Cache Valley, like the small little town that it is, within the last, I'd say probably year and a half, 3 or 4 med spas have popped up. And I'm like, this place is not big enough to have this many med spas.
That's just
and it gets
crazy.
challenging, right? Because then you have more options of places to go, but then also there's a difference, right? There's experience levels, there's new injectors coming to the market, and then there's injectors that have been around for a long time or well experienced. So then that's the other challenge, as they say, you know, cheap Botox isn't always good
I
Botox.
never go to someone. That's even how I found you guys. I wanted to get Botox, but I was like, I'm not going to some random person. I'm not letting them, my face already has Bell's palsy. I'm not letting someone fuck it up, like not happening. So my friend Sadie that came to the party, she's the one that used to go to Rochelle, and she was like, go to Rochelle. She's at Arlani. She's amazing. So that's why our first party was with Rochelle, because she was like, she's literally amazing. So I started following Rochelle on Instagram to see, and I was like, yeah, trust her. She's been doing it for a while. I like her vibe, like the spa vibe, and like we should go. And so that's when we went there, and then that's when we met you.
Yeah,
and
because I hope that.
yeah, and that's when we were like, Nas is the shit.
Oh, you guys, here, make me blush.
Like I can't believe that people like I still got like a targeted ad on my Instagram the other day, and it was like Botox for $750, and I was like, someone's clicking on this, don't do it. I would not dare do
It
that.
is hard though, because Botox keeps getting more and more expensive, so people go for that. But then, like, all you need is one bad experience, and you will never do it again. And that makes me sad for a lot of people.
How do you fix like if it is a bad thing? Like, cause can't like eyebrows droop and eyes droop and like scary stuff can happen,
Scary stuff
right?
can happen, and even more so with fillers, you know. So that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't know. And they're like, oh, it's easy to do, like I've been doing it for a year, you can trust me. But it's not the necessarily just placing it, right? It's knowing what to do when something goes wrong. And I feel like that's the true test of an experienced injector. And so it is totally dependent on the anatomy. You have to understand the muscles and how they counteract each other. You've got to know what caused a droop or how. And there are different ways to try and fix it and get them through it. And some are just kind of like,
You have to
you just have to deal until you get through the 3
So
months.
can you see like right away if something is drooping, or does it take?
It takes a minute.
It does.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
because most of the time, so like Dysport, for example, kicks in a little bit quicker than Botox. So usually 4 to 5 days. Botox is, its onset of action's really like day 7 to 10, but you start to notice it working earlier. And so like in that window is when I feel like those things happen.
I feel like it's like day 4 for me where I start to be like, oh yeah,
It's like half
it's
kicking
coming
in.
in.
I know Shelby and I will text each other like, oh, my Botox is starting to kick in.
I always ask
So
patients to
bad.
get mad at me so I can draw in their glabella, but I'm like, get mad at me. And then I realize I can't get mad to show them
Yeah.
how to get mad. And my male clients are always like, what do you mean you want me to get mad at you? And I'm like, oh, no, sorry. I mean, like, furrow your brow.
Like
I don't have daddy issues. That's not what I meant.
She draw the muscle out. So
Is that all in yours?
Yep.
Okay, we have more questions. By the way, these are all you guys' listener questions, so thanks for submitting them. Explain how units work with the pricing and how to determine how many units are needed.
okay, so units, so each bottle comes, Botox, for example, comes in a 50-unit bottle or a 100-unit bottle. Dysport comes in 100. I'm telling you about those two because they're the most common. They're the ones that we carry at Arlani. And depending on where you go, there's a lot of talk of comparison. So like they'll say that 1 unit of Botox is equal to 2 to 3 units of Dysport. So it can get really confusing sometimes, because if you go somewhere that's like, we have Botox for $10 a unit, but you need 2 units of Dysport to kind of be equivalent, they'll be like 1 unit of Dysport here is $5. So people a lot of times will think that like Dysport's cheaper, but in reality, it's the same price. So at Arlani, we keep it super streamlined for us. And so we do everything as just 1-to-1 in our heads. That's not how we reconstitute, because that's also different. There's not dilutions. You shouldn't be diluting. It's called reconstituting the bottles, because the bottles literally come with like a film. They look empty when you get them brand new, and you have to put saline in them to reconstitute them. So for us, we just do, 1 unit here is equal to 1 unit here and the exact same price. Then that allows our clients to pick the ones they want. That allows me to say like, you know what, in this area, I think it'll be better if we do Dysport versus Botox for you. And then areas are dependent. So like,
It's like about their face.
it is,
right?
yeah. But there are lots of studies. So like FDA approval for Botox is 20 in the forehead, 20 in the glabella, and 24 on the eyes. And then Dysport will do FDA approval 20 units in the glabella. But I tend to go off of that. I really do it based on what look they're going for, how much movement I'm trying to give them. Bigger muscle groups take more. So like if I'm treating masseters, they tend to be a bigger muscle. If we're doing traps for like tension headaches, those take more.
That is so weird to me.
It actually works really well if you carry tension there.
Really?
There's so
You
many
need
things
that.
you can
I
Botox.
do
Yes.
need that. I get tension headaches all the time, and I'll feel right here, and I have like
Rock
giant
hard.
knots.
Yes, that's me. Like when
Wow,
people
I
come
do
up to
not know.
massage me, I'm like,
Yes.
don't, please
Yes,
don't.
like it
Because
hurts.
they just get hard.
Yeah.
So you can
yeah.
Botox that and it'll just kind of calm it down.
Interesting. I did not know
I
that.
think that's what's interesting to me is like there's so much that Botox is used for to help with things that people think it's just for your wrinkles, and it's truly not.
Yeah.
Like
Because it can help sweating in armpits too.
Oh
can't
yeah,
it?
yep. So we can put it, you can get it in the palms of your hands, like underneath the
Who
bottoms
said
of your
someone gets it
feet.
in the webbing of their, someone said that at our party, remember? Someone was like, they get it in the webbing of their,
Oh, yeah, I think Melanie said
with
that.
their hand, something with their because of
Hands,
arthritis or something, was that
No,
what
the
it was?
Raynaud's.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
because of your
yeah,
hands, and I
yeah.
was trying to understand that one. That's right.
That was
Yeah,
creepy as fuck.
And you can do underarms. They have like ones that they've been doing under boobs, so that for like when you get sweaty boobs, like
Wow,
there's so many
really?
things that you can put
wow.
Botox or Dysport like superficially on the skin, and it just like tightens the pores and gives you a glow. So that's why
Wow.
that's
Okay,
what
so
those
I
facials
actually
are.
have questions about that.
Okay.
Okay, I appreciate not having wrinkles, but I mainly get Botox because it helps my skin so much. Cause I have that rosacea, I have dryness. And I can tell when it's time to get Botox because my skin will get super red, flaky, dry, itchy. So like if I just put it topically on the skin, would it do the same thing?
I guess it could. It depends on like how deep your rosacea really comes from. Cause I mean, I don't Botox your whole face, but I feel like your rosacea is
It's-
around
yeah,
and then it
my
improves.
forehead mostly, yeah.
And I do think that one's a little bit better because it's deeper placed. And so it just kind of makes everything improve it.
Mhm.
That sounds really funny, makes everything improve it. But that's kind of like why we have those facials, because we just do what's called, we have like an Arlani Gold facial where we put like vitamin C and Botox and filler in, and you literally just kind of stamp it into the surface and it just gives you a glow.
I need it,
Really?
signing up.
Just kidding. It is one of my favorites for like before an event.
Wow, that actually sounds really,
I do
really
have a
great.
wedding for a sister coming up. I maybe need to make a visit.
Or you could do a hydrofacial too. Those
I've
are
always
great.
wanted to do one of those.
You guys, this is the month, you know, that we have
I know,
that
I
special
saw that
right
this
now.
morning. Like,
Do you
I
do
get that.
facial parties? Just kidding.
I mean, we might as well, because I mean, that's a great deal. You get like buy a hydrofacial or a diamond glow,
I know, I saw it and I was like,
$199, you get 20 free units.
So is the diamond glow that facial with the Botox situation?
No, that one's called the Arlani Gold, but
Arlani Gold.
the hydrofacial and the diamond glow are a lot alike, but the diamond glow is done with like a diamond tip, so it exfoliates a little bit more. So if you're like going for more of an exfoliation, you want that. If you're going for more like suctioning out your pores really well, then you really want the hydrofacial.
Interesting.
But they're both really nice. I mean, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
You get $220 worth of free
I know.
Botox or Dysport.
I literally was
That is a
like,
good deal.
It's our most popular deal of the year.
Yeah.
For sure. Back to school, best time.
yeah, because
Yeah, I
moms.
might need to hit that
need
up
that.
for sure.
You said something that triggered me to ask you a question, and now I don't remember it. I'll have to think about it.
I'm sure it'll come back to you.
I hope it does, because it was a good one. I've actually been meaning to ask you it. Okay. When can I / should I start getting Botox?
That's a little bit different for everyone. I feel like, obviously if you start seeing static lines, so lines that are there when you're not moving, then you probably want to start, or if you see those lines forming from an activity that you're doing. So a lot of times people, the one that draws them in the most, I feel like is the 11s. So people come in and they're like, I'm just mad all the time. And now I have these 2 lines that are always there. I started young, like in my 20s, but it totally was not for a look or
Mhm.
cosmetic reason. It was for headaches. So I had really bad headaches, and getting units in my glabella actually helped because I couldn't furrow my brow so hard anymore. Because that's where all my attention would be. I would just focus so hard. And then I always tell people you should treat these 2 things together because they counteract. So I would only treat this, and then I wouldn't treat my forehead, and then I'd be standing in surgery like this instead. And then I was like, well, now this is giving me a headache. So then I started treating them together.
I feel like I've heard that about the lines, like if you like raise your eyebrows and like the lines just are staying there,
Mhm.
that's when you should probably start. And then also, it's really just like preventative too. That was my question. So I've heard that like, if you want to make sure that you don't have to get like, cause like I've heard people that start getting Botox too like late into the game, and they've already developed a really hard, like intense, like especially right here, they have to get more here because they've already like built something up. Is that true?
Yeah, because the deeper the line is, the harder it is to fade. And so I tell people when they come in with expectations of like a deep line, I'm like, you're not going to see this disappear anytime soon. you know, it will improve over time in like the next year of us doing your treatments,
Mhm.
but you may at some point need something more. Like you might need microneedling, or you might need Morpheus there, something to help heal it in other ways. Because
Yeah,
once you take the muscle contraction away, that helps.
yeah,
But
it's already built.
it's
up.
kind of already built up the line.
Interesting.
Another thing that I like always notice with people is like their makeup, the way that their makeup lays in their forehead
yeah.
lines. I'm like,
That was why I
you
started
will
getting
love
it.
this because you don't need a ton in your forehead, and all of a sudden your foundation just lays smooth.
I noticed foundation was settling in lines and I
Mhm.
was like, oh no, we're
I
not.
want you guys to know, and I don't know if you guys do this because you work in it, but I look at people's wrinkles and their makeup settling all the time. And I just think in my head, like, you really should get some Botox. Like, and it makes me seem like such an asshole, but it's like, no one wants that. Like, you don't want your makeup like creasing on your forehead. But I'm always just like, I don't say it to them because that's mean, but I'm always just like,
But you think it.
I'm like, you should definitely get a Botox.
Maybe you're just assessing. Maybe you're just in the
Yeah.
know now. Like I feel like that's what I'm doing. I'm not judging. I promise
Yeah.
I'm not judging because I don't care. I don't.
like if
I
you
want
don't want
everyone
it,
to
that's
do what makes
fine.
them happy.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just assessing. It's
Yeah,
different.
I'm just like, interesting. Okay, we already asked. I think we asked this before. Did we ask the pregnant one before we started recording?
Before
Yeah, that
we
was
started,
the
we
first
talked
one.
before.
Can you really not get injections while you're pregnant?
So as we were discussing before we recorded, there are no good studies. So people don't do studies on pregnant women, so there's not really good information as to whether or not you should or shouldn't. So that's usually what I tell people. For the ones that are going to do it, I would just recommend not doing it in your first trimester.
Yeah,
So people who
everything.
do it, I feel like do it in the third because they're pretty far along at that point. But and fillers the same thing. It's just
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like, if something were to go wrong, would you want it to be because of that reason? That's totally up to you. And I just kind of give you that guidance and let you make that decision on your own.
Okay.
But I would prefer not to
Yeah.
inject
don't
people
think
in
I
their
would
first
dare.
trimester.
Yeah, just like do you have to have malpractice insurance as an injector?
Yes.
So would your malpractice cover if something happened to a child if you did it on a pregnant person?
That I wouldn't know. But then you have to think too, like
I mean, you
you're
sign all the
signing
waivers.
consent, yeah, is
True,
to that
true.
you're consenting
I'm
to
sure
that.
the waiver
and
has I'm sure has something in there. too.
Yeah, true.
Do you have a favorite treatment or procedure to provide?
I kind of have a couple.
What are they?
I love doing lips, especially ones that I build up slowly are kind of my favorite. Especially like when people start out with really thin lips and they're like, I really want lips, and I'm like, this is gonna just trust me on this process. We're gonna go nice and slow.
Mhm.
We're gonna build them slowly, and they're gonna look awesome and natural. And they're gonna look like you, which is the goal.
Which, like, yeah, that's like what I always tell people too. I'm
Mhm.
like, the shock factor alone, like, don't go crazy. Just like start enhancing it. And then, like, that's why, like, I was like, for sure not getting a full. I want to like test this out. And then I had them and I was like, 1000% don't want this to leave. I need a little bit more. And now I feel like right now I'm at a spot where I'm like, okay, I can like settle with this a little bit. I don't need any more right now. But like, I
could
will
maybe down the
never,
road.
I probably won't want this to ever leave now.
Yeah, it's a process, but if you trust the process, then it's great. And I like to build them slowly. I
Yeah.
really do. And it is a little bit of a shock factor in the beginning. So setting expectations is super important. Like, this is what it's going to look like first day. You're going to go home and be like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And then the next day you're going to be like, okay, I kind of love this. So I love that
Wait,
because
I
that's
have a
my
question.
instant gratification.
Are you really not supposed to drink alcohol before you get lip filler?
So the reason they recommend that
Because of the swelling?
is actually because of bruising.
Oh, okay.
So your blood tends to run a little bit thinner with alcohol consumption, just like with ibuprofen, fish
Okay.
oil, garlic, all of those different things can cause that. So then you run a higher risk of bruising. And that's the reason I'm going to tell you. not to
My
do that.
sister-in-law, the first time she got her lips done was with you, and it was at our last party, and she was schmammered. Like,
Yeah.
she came into that room and was just like, fuck it, give me the full. And then that night when we got back to my house, we like stopped and got some food, and we were like sitting at my counter, and her lips were just like huge, and like she was just like so drunk, and we were all just like, maybe this is why they say you shouldn't drink and get filler.
Swelling is, yeah, I mean, it could probably attain, or it probably attributes a little
She
bit
did
to
bruise.
swelling.
I didn't bruise, but she did,
Mhm.
which she should have.
And I
Yeah.
try so hard, obviously, but as you've seen faces where
Well, and
there's just
people,
vessels
people
everywhere.
just like
People
bruise.
bruise,
do.
yeah, yeah.
But arnica, pineapple juice or bromelain because it's in pineapple juice. And then arnica. If you are a
Yeah.
big bruiser, take that beforehand, take it after injections. It's kind of great.
What's your other favorite treatment or service? to
I
provide?
love Morpheus 8, you guys. It is like, but
I remember you talking about that.
Yes,
Tell
It
the
is so
listeners
amazing.
what it is.
Yeah.
so if you haven't heard, thanks to Kim K recently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because now it's
Now
it's
it's
probably
like-
gonna blow up, but I loved it before that. I'm just saying. But it's microneedling with radio frequency. So it's like super skin tightening with microneedling. So you get the great like surface skin stuff that you get with microneedling, like improved pigmentation, better looking pores.
Stretch marks.
It can help with stretch marks. And then it also, when the needles go in, it goes deeper than traditional microneedling. So you get the radio frequency that gets injected down deep, and that just kind of like tightens everything up. So we do Morpheus on the face, which is kind of nice for everybody because it just kind of like pulls everything back.
I
To
need
where it
that for my
was.
Bell's palsy, because I was actually thinking like, see how they have this line right here
Yeah.
that's deeper? It's because of the Bell's palsy side, and I'm like, I just need like
It
a
could be a
little
couple
like,
of things
I just
though.
need like some extra like.
Little like for
So you have to remember that's your driving side too. So what could be sun damage, where everything
Maybe.
will, or if you sleep on that side. I mean, your Bell's palsy
I
is
sleep on my
improved.
back because I'm very stressed about my chest wrinkles.
Okay, so you can Morpheus chest wrinkles.
I know, you told me that, and now I'm like, all right, sleep however the fuck you want.
And they look so much better when you do. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've improved your face a lot with your Botox and your Bell's palsy.
Sorry, everyone. What?
Oh, no.
Drink break.
Okay. My keys are in my bathroom. Welcome to parenting, everyone.
Parenting a teenage boy obsessed with cars.
But who doesn't talk to me, who doesn't go to school, who doesn't do his homework, but wants a favor. Anyways, Morpheus 8 sounds great.
So that's my favorite.
It's very expensive though.
Is it
yes.
painful?
It is a little bit uncomfortable, but we do offer laughing gas.
Oh,
So you
God,
get,
sign me up.
we kind of have all the tricks at our Lonnie. We numb you for an hour, which takes longer than the treatment itself.
Yeah.
So we numb you for an hour, and then I nerve block you on the face so that you have even less sensation. We also give you laughing gas if you need it. So it's just a great time. The treatment itself,
It's a great time.
It
Laughing
really
gas
is.
really is a great time.
you know, it
I
takes like
have
20
not
to 30
enjoyed laughing
minutes
gas.
to
Oh, I
do a
love
face
it.
and neck.
20 minutes?
20 to 30 up to do a
Really?
face and neck. Like that treatment part is
That's
quicker than a
fast.
numbing.
Yeah, that's really fast.
And then we do Morpheus body too, you guys. I do a ton of Morpheus body, like scars from implants, C-section scars, stretch marks, people who have lost a lot of weight and just have saggier skin, but they just don't want to do surgery. It is a great alternative to that. to
If you
going under
guys
the
don't
knife.
follow them on Instagram, Arlani posts a lot of, and I think you do too, of like side by sides of people's like Morpheus
Yes.
treatments, and like every time you post them, I'm always like, holy shit, it's insane.
You guys, I'm not a
Like,
salesman.
It's not Photoshop.
I'm not good at that. Like, that's why I want everyone to come in and feel comfortable, because I'm like never trying to sell you anything. But I'm telling you, Morpheus is worth the cost.
How
Yeah.
much is like one treatment of Morpheus?
But you need more than
Yeah,
just
how
one.
many
Well, they
treatments do you need?
recommend 3. They
Okay.
recommend 3, but that doesn't mean you won't see something with one.
Results.
Yeah, it's just the way that they've studied it. You want to do 3, and some people do more, and then
Kim Kardashian probably every day.
right. I mean, if you can, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if I could, I would just live with a Morpheus in my bedroom, honestly. But so if you do like one face, for example, one face treatment is 800, one neck treatment is 500. So if you did
Chest wrinkles 500.
that one, I gotta remember what that one is. I think that one's way, I think it's around there. And it might be a little bit cheaper actually for the package of that. Because I mean, I do jaw lines all the time for giving people a snatch jawline. I don't even put so much filler in their jaw lines anymore because that works so
Really?
much better.
Yeah.
Because people get jowling and they hate the jowls and they're like, I
Yeah.
just want my jaw to show again. So, I mean, we charge $800 for all 3 sessions of the jawline.
Huh.
So there are good deals in there too.
How long does it last?
The results are permanent. So that
Oh, what?
the collagen you get out of it is yours to keep, and you just age through it like you do anything else.
Really?
So chest wrinkles, how long do we think my Morpheus would last? Cause
It depends how much you spend in the sun. If you SPF when you do, if you chest wrinkle like this when you sleep. No, I'm kidding. But
I mean,
all
we
those
have
things-
gotten better in our SPF though, don't cringe at that.
the
But
thing that
spending
gets
time in the
me is
sun.
like, I don't ever actually get like sunburned on my chest, like. It's always been, actually, I'll take that back. One time in Lake Powell, when I was in high school, we went and I burned harder than I've ever burned in my life, and my chest has been like weird textured ever since. Ever since then though, I've never burned on my chest.
But see, it still destroys your collagen.
Yeah, I think it's fucked up now. It's not even bad, but I'm just noticing it like a little bit in the morning. I'm like, wrinkles? Excuse you?
So what do you think about drinking collagen, like collagen powders?
So I think that helps, but just like with anything that we intake like orally, it takes a long time to build those things up. So even like when you come into the spa and we get shots, for example, like people are like, well, I drink a B12 supplement, for example, or I take B vitamins. It takes a lot longer for you to get to a therapeutic level with that versus when you get it in a shot form. So I kind of think of collagen in the same way. All
Okay.
throughout our life, especially in our 30s, we really start degrading our collagen. And so
Yeah, I'm
when it's
noticing that.
lost, it's lost. And so that's where Sculptra and all these other biostimulators came in, because they give you collagen back, or Morpheus 8. But I mean, I was telling you guys, so if you do 1 session of face and neck, it's 1,300. So but if you did like a series of 3 of face and neck, it's 3,000. So you save 900. And that's just
Yeah.
the package deal. If you were a member at Arlani, you can save up to 20% more on that. So you'd get another $600 off to do
Okay.
face and neck. And then we have body packages too. So,
Interesting.
Interesting.
but that's my favorite
Thoughts
one
of me
to
getting
see.
Morpheus in my future?
down the
Probably-
road.
Probably gonna happen.
Black
Morpheus
Friday, you
party,
guys. Black
Morpheus
Friday
party.
is the biggest sale of the year, and Morpheus always makes an appearance. Talks will be on there, so you can buy your whole year's worth
Yes,
of Talks.
I did follow your Black Fridays last year.
Filler
I did too,
and
yeah.
Morpheus will definitely be on there.
And I'm
Good to
pretty
know.
sure Mother's Day has a pretty sweet one. Usually around Mother's Day, you guys do a couple like
Yes.
really good things.
We're really good with deals.
There's legit, you guys. If you're not following them, wake the fuck up.
And we're planning another party in January or February, so you'll want to be a part of that.
I'm telling you though, Black Friday, that's the one. That's
Get the
biggest
deals at
sale,
Black
you guys.
Friday and then come to our party in January.
And then you can always DM me, send me questions. I'm happy to answer. I'm pretty easygoing. Like I said, I'm not a good salesman. I just like people
Yeah.
and I like to treat them the way I would want to be
Yeah.
treated.
Which is great customer
Yes.
service.
So tell us too about the weight loss shots.
Oh, you guys. Okay. You're going to love this. So there's a drug on the market called Wegovy and Ozempic that you've probably seen commercials for. It's a medication called semaglutide. And semaglutide is what's called an incretin. So it's
Strange names.
I know.
How do they come up with this shit?
So it's a hormone inside of our body. So it's called a GLP-1 agonist. And what it does is when you take this shot once a week, it will increase the amount of insulin that your pancreas puts out that helps blood sugar levels. It slows down your stomach from emptying as fast, so you're fuller longer. And it really decreases your appetite because of that. So the FDA studies have come out and shown that you can lose like up to 15 to 20% of your weight
Yeah,
on
that's
it.
insane.
It has made
That's
a huge
crazy.
difference. And it is FDA approved for weight loss. The other one is FDA approved for type 2 diabetics, mostly
wow.
because you lose weight and it kind of can
Yeah,
pull you out of
yeah.
your type 2 diabetes if it's not caused by something else. So, but on the market, it costs like $1,300 to $1,500 a month. So we got it compounded. And what that means is the exact same drug. We've just mixed it with like B12 or not B12. We've mixed ours with L-carnitine or NAD, which is like a building block of your cells. And because of that, we can offer it a lot less. So we charge $5.25 a month for that subscription, and you
Which
just
is like half the cost, if not
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
yes. And you guys, I've been on it for 6 months and I've lost 27 pounds.
You look
Yeah.
like fire.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's $5.25 a month.
And that covers your weeks, your month's worth of shots.
Okay.
How often do you have to get the
Yeah.
shots?
Once a week. So it's a tiny little like syringe and needle. It's not very big. For the first month, I like to see people every week just to make sure you're doing okay with the side effects. The biggest thing I worry about is people getting pancreatitis. So I spent pancreatitis was big when I was at the hospital, so I'm really good at recognizing that and the labs that are needed and everything. And in the past, when I've told people like about this, I'm like, go to an experienced practitioner because this is a drug, this is a prescription. You want somebody who's going to know
Yeah.
what to do, when to stop it, and if something like that happens, what you need to do about it. So that's super important to me. But so I keep an eye on you for the first month really closely, and then after that I kind of like let you off on your own. I'll give you your shots, you can take them home for the month, and then you check in with me like once a month.
People give them their own shots.
Mhm.
This reminds me of like the
Interesting.
HCG thing.
Yes.
Is it going to have like similar side effects
Different.
that people had where they would get like cottage cheesy where they would give their injection?
No, it's very different because unlike all the other drugs in the market in the past, like phentermine, for example, or HCG, they worked very differently. So this is kind of nice because it's something that's already made by your body, and it's just made it a higher concentration in the shot form. So your small bowel releases GLP-1. If I got that right, let me think. I've been talking to myself. I'm like, wait. So that
Sounds right to me.
And then phentermine, like for example, really would speed up your metabolism, right? So people would be like kind of going all the time, and then
like
the second,
meth, kind of, right?
yes,
Phentermine?
and then they would like, and like Adderall, right, would do the same thing. It gets your metabolism revved, and then when you come off of it, everything slows down, and you kind of go back to your old habits. So far with these studies of semaglutide, it hasn't bounced back. People haven't been like gaining it back plus some, because it
Interesting.
stays in your system a little while after you've stopped it, and then habits have changed, right? For the last 6 months, I've been eating half of what I could normally eat. I don't even think I could eat a full cafe Rio salad these days if I wanted to.
That's crazy.
And it's nuts, right? Because before I'd be like downing it and be like, where's the chips and queso, you
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
Please tell me someone ordered.
Same. Same.
But so I think that my habits will stick with me,
I love that.
and I'll be able to maintain
So
that.
how long are you supposed to be on it? Is it like a forever thing or is it a short thing?
It is safe to be on long term. For me personally, my plan was to just get to my ideal goal weight and then come off, and then just kind of try and maintain. Yeah, I've always
Well, I
been
think
good at
that's
maintaining. I
that's
suck
like
at
a healthy
losing.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people, once they get to their goal, will be like, I'm not ready to come off it. So they'll go to like a half dose, which is fine too. So
Interesting.
All right. Do I have any? Oh, it's so expensive. Are there any hacks, tips, or tricks to help us not have to spend so much on beauty? Follow Arlani. They have specials. That's your ticket. Allie, is that how you say it?
Allie,
Allie always
And
has things that you can add.
Aspire.
Yes, you can add them to your like wallet. You can get $50 off, $75 off. Like look for those coupons. Look for spas that do specials. That's what I would say. Is that correct?
You're all right. Yeah.
Saleswoman in the making.
And you guys can follow me. I always post the sales that I have from Allie
Yes.
or from Aspire. So Allie is a manufacturer of coupons for Botox and Juvederm. Aspire is for Dysport and Restylane. So we use both at Arlani, and it's just free money. You come in, you get treated, they just give you money. And now they have like flash sales. So you download their app, you can scan a QR code and get an
I saw that
extra
one. That was fun.
extra little sale.
I
But
was stressed it was gonna run out while I was there though.
I know, me
They
too.
made it
Like
long
we're
term.
going too long in our party, ladies. I gotta check out.
It's nice that they've had that there, but like, I mean, right now I have a $75 off coupon of Juvederm. So like I post that sometimes. If you've never had Botox before, I have a $50 off coupon.
Do it.
So it's possible.
Um,
And memberships save you a lot of money. at
what is your
spas.
guys' membership?
Yeah.
Every spa is a little bit different. We have 3 tiers. You pick whatever tier that you want, which is a certain amount of money that we put into your Arlani account. We don't charge you
It's like a bank almost.
Yes, we don't charge you an admin fee. There's nothing like that. like our most expensive one is $150 a month. And that drops your Botox to $9 a unit. You get $75 off a full syringe. You get 20% off Morpheus packages, 20% off IVs. I think you get 20% off skin products. Like it's a huge amount of sales just for
being
keep-
on the membership.
So it's worth it. If Arlani's your place, then
Yeah.
I tell people, I'm like, that's the way to go. You'll save so much money.
We should probably do that.
Yeah, we should probably should. I'm like, how come I haven't signed up
We
for
will
this
look
yet?
into that.
We
And
will
it's
post
nice
the
because
details.
like people are like, my husband can't know, I can't spend this big amount, but if you've been paying it in little amounts, it builds up. So when you come back for your Botox, you're like, oh, I have all this banked money.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
And you can get that facial that you've been talking about.
try to get the facial.
Laser hair removal details. Pain, does it work? Does it not work? Is it worth it?
I would say so because I've been lasered and I
I
love
want
it.
to do it so fucking bad.
I love it.
Is it true if you have light hair, it doesn't work?
It is a little harder for that, yes, because the lasers are not designed to pick up it's kind of designed to pick up pigment, which would be in dark hair.
Okay.
So lighter hair is a little harder. We do have like a state-of-the-art laser, so like it's meant to take away your hair in 6 treatments.
Does like, do you have to like with waxing, do you have to grow your hair out for you to be able to laser it?
They actually,
Or-
the prime time to do it is like, so if you were to like shave today, like the day before, or shave, give it a day and then have your laser treatment
Okay.
is like the prime time, because then it can pick up the follicle.
Okay.
So it's just depending on
What about
how
your
hair
face?
grows.
What about like chin whiskers? I get whiskers.
So some people will still shave that. What you
They
don't want to
shave their whiskers.
do.
I pluck mine. Should I be shaving them?
If you're gonna do
dermaplane
laser
thing.
so that you can get the follicle, when you wax it, you take the hair follicle out, so it's not zapping anything at the base.
I like because like I just get some that are like thicker. Ever since I was pregnant, I get like some that are thicker, and I just pluck those ones.
Yes.
Ever since I plucked them, they like don't come as often. But like, what about like the peach fuzzes around people's facial hair? Does that
Peach
can you
fuzz
get
is
that?
better to do like kind of what she's been doing. So like you
That
get a
little
facial
razor
and then you
thing.
get like a
Yeah.
dermaplane. Like you can
I
add on
thought about that.
dermaplanes at Arlani. They just do it and they just kind of take all your peach fuzz
It
off.
feels so good too, like.
It
doing
feels
that.
nice.
I love.
And then when you
it's
put your
creepy.
makeup and your lotion on,
Yeah.
you're like, ooh, it's
Yeah.
so smooth, like a baby's bottom.
So laser hair, armpits, what would that cost?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot here. I do not remember.
You didn't remember at our party. That's why I asked you.
Am I allowed to phone a friend? I have it on my
let me
phone.
look- yeah, let me look it up.
I have it on my phone. We do have a laser hair
It was really cheap.
membership.
I don't
too.
remember what it was, but
It
was,
is.
like,
It's based
super
on if you're
cheap.
gonna do a small area or a large area, and then you can buy the package of 4.
What
or
would
you
a
can do it.
Brazilian area be considered as?
I would consider that a large.
A large, okay,
Yeah, because that kind of gets.
everything.
What about like, is legs like extra large? Like, is there an extra large? It's just large.
It's just those. So.
I definitely want to do it at some point. Like I said, I'm very stressed about the not being in the sun thing. Telling me I can't go in the sun. Like, what if I just did it and then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to California next week? You know?
You kind of want, so like you want to avoid the sun, at least like direct sun is kind of what they're
Like-
saying for like a week before and a week after.
Lounging.
Yeah.
Like walking around or being outside is fine.
Yeah, as long as you're like SPF'd and like I said, you're not like basking.
Can you put like lotions, products on after getting laser hair removal? And also, does it hurt?
You can put on lotions and stuff afterwards. A lot of times they'll give you like hydrocortisone if you need it, because depending on your histamine reaction. And then does it hurt? Depends on the area, I've noticed, and it
Does your vagina
depends
hurt?
on the thickness of the hair.
Oh, it's gonna hurt, ladies.
I feel like thicker areas hurt more.
Do people get laser in their buttholes?
Yes, part of the Brazilian.
Yeah, I get my butthole waxed with my Brazilian.
Well, I know you do it when you wax, but I never thought about
That's
the
the
laser
whole
side.
thing, take it all, I don't want
Take it
any
all.
of the hair,
Oh
take
my
it all.
God, I'm gonna for sure do this for my Brazilian. That
So I
sounds
feel
a
like-
dream.
But like
It's
the first
so
couple
nice.
times, I feel like almost when they're thicker hurt more, but then
It
when it's
thins
coming in,
out,
it
yeah.
thins out, so you don't feel it as much.
I've also heard though that people have to buy like their own like at-home thing for like little parts that like hair comes back. Is that true, or do they just go somewhere shitty?
I would probably think that if I was gonna do a touch up, I would just go back to the place that I got
Like
it.
my neighbor, like at my old house, she was like, I got this thing on Amazon, and I just have a couple hairs that come in, and I just get them myself, and I'm like,
Sorry, I have to take a pee break. I'll be back.
bye.
Yeah, I think it's just based on, and because laser strips are different.
Do
All the
those
laser
ones
strips are
work that are like on like Amazon?
I
and,
don't
like,
know. I've never tried one.
interesting.
But that's the thing is like I feel like I would just go to a spa that has
Yeah.
a really big, nice.
I mean, I think that's why most people like hesitate to buy it because they don't know if it actually works.
Right.
So, let's see. I'm gonna save this next question because Taylor asked it.
Is it wanting to be worried about?
No.
I'm just kidding.
If people don't want things like Botox, filler, or treatments, etc., what can they do to help their skin stay as firm as possible and prevent wrinkles?
SPF.
And like moisturizer?
So
Is that even a
skincare,
thing?
skin products.
Okay.
So if you're not into doing Botox or facials or peels or anything like that, that's fine. To each their own. If you're looking for anything, the number one thing that will help prevent wrinkles is SPF. And
Which like
that's-
I was sleeping on for a while. Like I
it's
was
crazy,
not,
right?
because I was like, I don't give a fuck if I get skin cancer. I just want to be tan. That was like literally my life motto forever.
And I feel like I grew up in the era where like going tanning was the thing.
tanning
Like,
was the thing.
you
And
got the
so-
little Playboy bunny
Yeah.
on your hip.
So I'm
like,
like,
that's what we
I don't
did.
care about SPF. And now lately I'm like, wow, SPF always.
Yes, it is the number. If I had to pick one thing to prevent anything, it's SPF.
So people that have been sleeping on SPF, if they just turned 32 and they just barely started, can they keep up with their wrinkles or has the damage already like happened?
It depends on their genes and them,
Okay.
basically, because like I said, everyone's genetics
Well,
are
I
a little
think it
different.
depends on their health too. Like if you're drinking a lot of water, that will always help your skin, right?
Versus like if you're a smoker,
Yeah.
like, they tend to have poor skin and
Yeah.
poor healing. So it really just kind of depends, but
okay.
that's the one thing. And then medical grade skincare. So if you're gonna do,
Yes.
if you're not gonna do anything else, then I would have at least a set regimen with the good stuff.
You
like
guys
the vitamin
sell
C.
skincare?
We
at
do,
Armani?
and
Yeah.
we have our estheticians are really good at like telling you, like you tell them about your skin and like what your problems are, and they can kind of formulate what's best for you. And then if they feel like you need something more, like sometimes we'll write prescriptions for certain compounded creams and stuff that might help you. So that's kind of the nice thing is like we're a full service.
Mhm.
And really that was like Rochelle's goal, was like, she's like, I want this to be like a one-stop shop. You can come here and you can get anything that you need.
Yeah.
You know, you want to get your lashes done that day, you want to get your ears pierced, you want to,
You guys do piercing?
we do.
Interesting. I didn't
You want
know
to get
that.
microbladed facials, Botox, all the body contouring things. We do hormone consults. So
I need that.
we do. I mean, we see a lot of bodybuilders and just a lot of people who are having hormonal issues, and get your labs ordered. We'll look at that, interpret it,
Interesting.
put pellets in if you want to do pellets, for example. So
I've heard about the pellets, so I am on creams.
mhm.
Would you suggest creams or pellets?
Totally a preference thing.
Really?
So some people are like really good at doing something every day. It's kind of
Mhm.
like birth control and like the pill versus IUD, right?
Mm.
One you kind of set it and forget it. The other one you really have to remember to take every
Do
day.
it.
So
Mhm.
pellets are like that. You place them and you don't have to worry about them. For women about 3 months, men about 6. So it's kind of sounds nice. And some people don't like the way they feel. So just like Botox and Dysport, I'm like, just try it and see how you feel. And you
Mhm.
might love it, or you might be like, no, I'm more of a cream person.
Yeah.
I prefer to do it every day.
Okay.
So
Interesting. All right. This one is Taylor's question I waited for you.
I'm scared. I don't even remember.
I know, I kind of
She was like worried too. Should I make something up? Okay. Should people say something to people that are maybe getting too much work done?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was mine.
And
So-
also, do you guys ever tell people like, or try and talk them out of getting something if you see them and you're like, you don't need any more?
I do. And I think that is because that's what a good practitioner should do.
Yeah.
So I don't treat aesthetics any differently than when I did working in a hospital setting or
Yeah.
a clinic setting. to me, I'm doing a medical procedure on you, right? I'm giving you a prescription of some kind, and I wouldn't give that to you if I didn't think that it was right for you. So I do tell a lot of people, no, I will turn you away from doing that service, and not in a mean way. I'll just be like, this is what would happen
Yeah.
if we continue down this route. And
And
like I
let
said,
they
I think
do
that's
that.
valuable, because I feel like you want to go to an injector that will tell you no when it's appropriate.
They all should.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be about the money. It should be like, I want you to feel good and look good, not be made fun of.
It's all a feeling, right? Like, you should vibe with your injector. You guys should have the same goals about what you're going for, you know. And if an injector doesn't ever like tell you that there's other stuff you should do just because they don't carry it, like, those are all signs. Like, you know, like, if I think a client needs a blepharoplasty, so an eyelid surgery, and for the skin, and I'm in, and they're like, well, I hear Botox will help. I'm like, it can improve it. Like, I can try and open up your eye a little bit to help get that off. But to be perfectly honest with you, there's too much skin there. And if I were you, I would consider a surgical consultation. And I will tell you that.
That's so
Oh, that
crazy.
stresses me out so bad. Thinking of that. Like, that has to be the most painful.
That is the strangest spot.
Oh, you guys, it's not bad. They just look really bad. The bruising looks bad afterwards. But do you see what I mean? Like, I will tell people like, hey, like, I don't offer that here, but I know a surgeon who does.
I think if
Or
you're
you need this
friends with
service.
somebody and they are maybe getting too much work done, you should tell them. Like, if Taylor was like really going crazy, I'd be like, girl,
Calm it down.
you don't need any more work. Let's let this settle for a while.
I had a client yesterday, and he has asked me multiple times, like, no, it's gonna do my lips, can I do my lips, can I do my lips? I'm like, no, they're good. If we put any in them right now, we're gonna take them out of proportion to your face, you're balanced. And so he came in yesterday and he told the tech, he was like, I really want to get my lips done, but I don't know if Naz will let me, and she'll tell me no. And, you know, I like looked at his chart, looked at him, and I kind of saw how his filler was settling. I'm like, you know what? We can do it today. Like, you're due, it's starting to, I can see where you would balance better if we give you a little bit of hydration back. And I got a text today that was like, I'm living for these lips. And I'm like, this just makes my day. But that's because I've told him no multiple times. If I filled him every time he wanted to, they would be huge right now. And I just wouldn't do that. So
do you like, so when I come to you and I'm like, I have Bell's palsy, my face does this, do you like when you get clients that have like a challenge, or is it kind of like, oh, that's stressful? Because I would be stressed.
A new injector, it would have been a little more stressful, but like, now just being experienced and like understanding the anatomy and how everything works, it's different. So, and good injectors will continue to like educate themselves, going to conferences, going to cadaver labs, learning how to use ultrasounds, which is like definitely the new way.
You guys like you go to a lot of things, I've noticed too, and I love
we do, because we want to get better, right? And medicine is ever changing all the time. Aesthetics, medicine, everything, period. And that's why like you guys see me harping so much now. And I'm like, go to a place that has an ultrasound, because like if you got a vascular occlusion, you want to be able to identify that, and you're going to do that with an ultrasound.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, simple things like that. But getting to like balance you out, like, I'm like, see, this is what's important to me, is like understanding what Bell's palsy is and how it works and what it does to your face. I know how to manage you with Botox to make you look symmetrical as possible.
Well, and I think it's just like, I think that's what's crazy to me is I've actually had someone like in my circle be like, all these people are posting about like the stupid ultrasounds. Like, why are they doing it? Like, you don't need an ultrasound machine to like do someone's Botox. It's not that hard. And I just keep thinking like, but why are you hating on it? Like, all they're doing is just holding it right there just to make sure they're like good. And like, why does that upset you? And it's just crazy to me that like they in that moment couldn't expand their mind to like, that education and knowing what's best is like always going to be better.
It's just more of a safety precaution.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like just the new wave, right?
Yeah.
It's easier to see what vessels occluded than like flooding the area with dissolvent like they used to do in the past. Now you can just see it and you know exactly where to put it.
Yeah.
So,
do you have a horror story you want to share?
I don't.
She's like, this is not what I came for.
No, I'm just like, I'm trying to think, right? Like, I'm really like
has there ever been a time where you're like, oh shit?
I mean, I kind of sometimes do that every day because nothing is innocent, right? So I'm always like praying in the back of my mind, like,
I have oh shit moments all day long at work for sure. Like I'm kind of like,
I definitely have them more working in the hospital. That part's a little more lax in
Yeah.
aesthetics, but I do still go to bed at night sometimes going,
was I paying full attention?
did I feel that part that I really wanted to feel on that?
Yeah.
And then I'm like gonna be nervous and I'm like, I'm not gonna know for like 2 weeks. It's stressful. I stress myself out, you guys. I am my own toughest critic. For
I
sure.
think that's great. How else are you gonna improve?
Yeah.
I mean, but I could sleep better if I wasn't.
True.
Do you know your
That's true.
Enneagram number?
My what?
Enneagram number?
Mm-mm.
I
Oh,
bet
we-
you're one for
We
sure.
need to get her to.
You guys gotta tell me what this means. Now I'm like, is it one a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a Shelby.
Yeah, it's a personality test, and like it just kind of helps like identify like your traits. It's not as like aggressive as like a disc test or like all the other like really there's like some intense personality tests. This one has like been around for so long, and there's 9 numbers, and each one has like a number and like certain traits and like a healthy stage of that number and a bad stage, and then also like when you're happy or something, I don't know, or then stress. Like when I'm stressed, I go to a 4, and if you read the traits of a 4, I'm like, yep.
This is intriguing. I kind of want to know.
Yeah, we'll
Super,
send you the
super
link. I'm a
interesting.
1, and it's a lot being a 1. I don't know if she's a 1. I
I
haven't
would
actually
say either
analyzed
a
her.
2 or a 1.
I haven't analyzed her enough.
You guys,
to,
all I know is I'm a Gemini. That's all I can tell you.
I want you to know I fucking hate Geminis, but I love you.
We have a lot of Geminis in our life.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Would you have
when's your
guessed that I
birthday?
was a Gemini?
No, because Geminis are split personalities and can be fake sometimes.
I know, I read that all the time, but I'm like, I don't feel like I am.
But when's your birthday? Because there's different Geminis.
Oh, I'm June 13th. I'm
I
afraid
feel
to
like
say no.
June Geminis are a little different.
I don't know if she agrees. That sigh.
I don't know if I agree. I don't know.
I feel like
I don't hate Geminis as much as I hate what are they? Why can't I think of them right now? Scorpios. I really hate Scorpios. And when I say hate, that's like the loose term for Geminis. I really hate Scorpios.
Okay. I mean, I'm not offended. Just because like I know who I am, but like there are times that I read things on the
No,
website,
there's
so I'm
like-
like, I don't ever feel like I'm faking it.
There's some really bad Geminis out there.
I mean, I feel like if I fake it, it's in a way that like if I'm feeling a certain way, I won't show it on the surface, and I'll be like happy if I'm internally sad or something.
Here's what I think I've decided. The Geminis that I know that I don't like don't do work for their self-development, and that's why they're bad Geminis. Like they're not working on themselves because they can't be authentic. They would rather hide, and so they switch their personality and pretend instead of just being like, yeah, this is how I'm feeling now. You know, like they're not willing to own it.
I can
Yeah.
see that.
Should we do our embarrassing story?
Oh yeah, I am dying to hear this story, you guys.
Taylor and I have an embarrassing story for you guys. It's not an asking for a friend this week. Do you want to start?
They got me excited.
So-
They teased this, and now I'm very excited.
it was like our late 20s that we were kind of like,
We had not
should
turned
we-
30 yet.
Yeah. Like, should we start getting Botox? Should we get like a lip flip? Like, I'd never been happy with my lips. I was like, maybe a lip flip would be a thing. So we had a friend, we're not friends with her anymore, but we had a friend and she's like, oh, I know a really great lady. It was right before our birthday. And she was like, I'll take you, it will be my birthday gift to you. I'll give you guys a lip flip. And we were like, okay.
And
So
wait, let me cut in. This was like the most obnoxious fucking thing to schedule ever. Like
seriously,
it wasn't like something that was convenient for us. It was like, this is when I'm going, and I'm also buying your lip flip, so you guys better figure out how to get there. So we
Mhm.
were like, fuck, Taylor has to drive down on like a Tuesday night
at like
after work.
4:30.
Yeah,
it was a whole, that's very important to the story. It was a whole situation.
And it was like,
It
we
wasn't
didn't,
like
we didn't want it at that
yeah.
point. We're like, I can't actually do this day, but like you're forcing that you're
Pushing it,
buying this lip flip for me for my birthday, and now I feel like
it's
I
not
have to
yeah.
be there. And like, so I don't want to be rude because you're trying to do something nice for me, but it's also like, fuck man, like this isn't working for me.
Yeah.
So that's the like premise of the next part.
Yeah, it wasn't like we were all hanging out and she's like, oh, let's do this. I'll get it for you for your birthday. It was like a whole production. So I was like, all right. So I drive all the way down in rush hour. Like it was a whole situation. We get to this place. We are in there. Shelby and I are freaking out. Like we've never had anything done to our face. We were maybe 26, 27. And we were like, are we too young to do this? Like, is this
It's
gonna
gonna
mess up
hurt.
our face? Like, what? Like, we were so stressed.
We're at this lady's house.
Yeah, it was in like her living room. It was, and so she does this lip flip, and it was like one injection, that's it. And then like we're all kind of sitting there, and she's like telling us the total, and Shelby and I are like,
just sitting there, no wallets out. Like,
Yeah.
It was kind of like,
yeah, like, oh, well, she was gonna pay for us, like, but none of us wanted to say, like, she said she was gonna pay, she didn't pay. So then we're like sitting there and we're like, okay. So it's supposed to be $80. And so we both pull out our cards, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I only take cash. So with the non-cash price, it was like 120 something.
for a
lip flip.
Yeah.
You guys, it's
That
like
we
we
didn't
didn't more units. It's like
Yeah.
40
That we
bucks,
didn't
20
even
bucks.
Yeah.
And what I found out after the fact, because I did go back and get a lip flip, because my other friend was getting Botox from this lady. And I went with her and I was like asking her like some questions because she was asking about this friend. Come to find out, she does not like injecting this girl. And I think she made her price higher because she didn't want to keep injecting her, and was doing that to us because she was like, I don't want this.
Oh,
So that's what I found out after I went back with that friend, and I was like, makes fucking sense. But also I didn't want this, and I had to spend $120 on a freaking lip flip
And it did
that was
nothing.
supposed to be my
Literally nothing
birthday
happened.
present.
Yeah.
And I did it, like she just sat in like the chair because she just got her Botox, and like the lady starts like going around doing like the payment, and she just sat there and wasn't like, oh, I'm paying for them. She was just like,
And we were both like, Shelby and I were staring at
did
each
you
other.
guys have like a discussion afterwards? Like, hey, I thought
we literally got in our cars and
Yeah.
we're like, fuck this.
And then I like
We
text
shut
Shelby when
you
I got
down.
home. I was like, okay, I just drove all the way down. It was literally not even 5 minutes. I had to pay extra because I didn't bring cash. Who brings cash anymore? Nobody. And I was like, and then I had to drive all the way home. Like nothing even happened.
I can't believe you guys got charged that much for a lip flip.
I was pissed.
I mean, this
so
was when,
angry.
think about it, when you guys were 26, 27, we charge $11 a unit now. So I
probably
do a lip
was
flip
like
with like
$8 then.
2 or 4 units. So like worst
Ugh.
case scenario, $44.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
was,
got
extreme.
ripped.
It was extreme.
yeah.
We were pissed. So that's our embarrassing
Yeah.
story. It's not embarrassing necessarily, but it tied into our
It was very
today.
fitting for the
Yeah.
thing.
Isn't that insane?
It is insane.
It was very awkward. And I think that's why I was so nervous to get my lips done the first time, because I was like, nothing's gonna happen. Like that lip flip literally did not do one thing to me at all.
Well,
And
look
I
at you now,
was
you're a
just like,
pro.
I know, I was
Lip
like,
filler, Botox. We've done it all.
yeah.
We're the injection princesses.
You guys are. I love when your party comes. It's like I'm like looking
Do
forward
you
to it every
actually
time.
like some parties? when
I
you
do.
that? Okay. Because we
Especially
wonder.
because now I know you guys, and so I'm like, it's like getting to hang out.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
fun.
So
It
it's
is
fun.
fun.
I mean, we can hang out outside of injection.
Oh, agreed.
time, like we
But it
should.
is enjoyable because then it's like not like work. Like I'm just like, oh, the champs are coming.
Yeah.
Get to
Yeah.
hang. I mean, I'm working, but I get to hang.
I feel like you have a good time when we're there. You're like,
I do.
chill. You're like, you guys like rap music, right?
Mhm.
Great.
I know my tech that night put on like the Nicki Minaj like
Yeah.
Super Freak song, and she was like, I'm gonna go change it because I feel like this is a little bit inappropriate. And I was like,
And then
Oh,
I was
that's
really
good.
loving it. We walked in.
I was like, you
I
can
know.
leave it, and they're just fine. They'll love this song.
As Taylor's pouring champagne in my mouth.
And honestly, good music, I can do anything. Like I was like, this is fun. I'm gonna inject some
Yeah.
today.
It's fun. We enjoy
It
it.
is.
Well, I think that's all our questions. So come to our injection party, our Botox party next year, early next year. And thank you so much.
Yes,
Yeah.
if not,
For being a
come meet
guest.
you guys.
Yes.
And come see me.
Yeah, tell them where
Follow
to find
us.
you. Yeah.
So I work at Arlani Integrative Medicine or Arlani Med Spa, and we're located in Murray. So we're like 244 West Vine Street, Suite 232. We're right under the apartments in the strip mall. And you can follow me at Injection Queen _ Nazanin. So NAZANEEN. And I'll post all the deals. You can see some of my work, and I'd love to meet you guys.
She's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
Follow her and also come to our parties.
Yes.
come to the parties or have a party. It's the best. It's so
And
much fun,
also,
you guys.
we should just start hanging out now.
Deal. I mean, we're gonna continue this,
Yeah,
right?
we're gonna-
And we're gonna dive into this.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you guys. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. And thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Awkward moment of stopping the
There we go.
video.